Got another video I wanted to do today. It's kind of leapfrogging off of the one I did the other day that was entitled Should Christian Men Take Viagra? And one of the things I'm going into is how that our bodies and our minds are always fighting for homeostasis. The idea that when you're asleep, your body wants to straighten itself out. It's always, fixing bad cells. It's moving out, dead cells. It's taking care of toxins. It's moving things around. If you don't eat at night, it's the best time to lose weight. It'll start reshuffling things. That's when you grow lean mass. And your mind wants to do the same thing. Your mind wants to go for homeostasis, this idea of balance. There's just, your body knows when it's in balance and out. And your mind knows when it's in balance and out. And one of the ways that your body tells you is pain. I mean, you're walking along and you hit your hand, and all of a sudden you grab your hand, right? And the question is, why do you grab your hand? Because it hurts, and you make a face. You're telling others, of course, with your face that you're hurting. But also, you send endorphins that are carrying, that are soothing hormones that are set up because you're dealing with it. You're telling your body, I'm dealing with the pain. So your body does this for homeostasis. Your body is always healing itself. I have a cut on my thumb. It's always healing, whether I like it or not. Your mind is going to do the same thing. It's going to be trying to heal things. So what I'm saying is, again, dreams don't lie. The idea that your dreams are trying to tell you something most of the time. My son and I were having a very good conversation about this, and we came to some very good conclusions about this. But dreams don't lie. Your dreams will try to tell you the truth, and they'll try to tell you in different ways, creating stories, having images that will mean something to you if you know what to look for. So, and you're the only one who can tell you. There's no psychological pattern or chart that says, okay, if you dream about cows, cows mean this, and sheep mean this, and if you see a man walking with a cane, that means this. That's not how it works. It really works on, what does this mean to you? For some people, cows might be pleasant. Maybe you grew up on a farm. Another time, maybe you were scared by a cow, and it's going to have a different reaction. When you're dealing with the dream, best thing to do is to look at the emotion it's eliciting. But before I do that, I wanted to talk the difference between biblical dreams and visions and what I'm talking about, which is the information dreams that we have every night. And they're not always the same. I was doing some Bible reading that there were a lot of dreams and visions, especially in the Old Testament. And so one of the first ones, of course, was Jacob had a dream about a ladder. His son Joseph later on has a dream in which he saw the sun and the moon and the stars bow down before him, and his family understood what this meant and didn't like it. Many times dreams are like that. There's one thing representing something else, and more times than not, the person understands it. Sometimes we're the ones that have to explain it because of what it means to us, but in that one, the whole family got it. There are other dreams. The vast majority of the prophets, in fact, all the prophets basically from Isaiah through Malachi, were dreams and visions and ideals that were given to them from God. Some of them were day visions. If you know anything about Ezekiel, he had a lot of daytime visions. Those are different than dreams. And I don't want to get caught up in this because that's not where I'm going. But there is a difference between the day visions where you're actually brought up and you see something. Again, this is the book of Revelation with the Apostle John. He was taken up and he saw things and he wrote what he saw. So we get this from Ezekiel. We get this from Daniel saw a lot of things with Gabriel and about different things for end time prophecies and all of this. Okay, we have all of those biblical things happening. And I'm going to say one small note on this, that I really wish we Christians would be more careful about just jumping on the YouTube after we had a dream last night. And all of a sudden I saw, an American city go up in flames, or I saw this, or I saw that. And there's always this highly demonstrative things. We need to be careful when we're talking about God and dreams and visions. Now, of course, average people had dreams. You had Mary, of course. Well, Mary meets Gabriel, so that was a vision. Her husband, betrothed, was given a dream to go to Egypt and take the child to Egypt. Of course, you had Zechariah with meeting Gabriel also when talking about John the Baptist. So you have this happening. But that's different than what I'm talking about, and we really need to be careful when we jump out and say. So I'm not a prophet, not even claiming to be in that sense of where I have these dreams and visions. But what I'm saying is, can I take average dreams and use them to help yourself, use them to interpret those dreams? Now, biblical dreams will be interpreted by the Bible. So the more Bible you know, the more you'll be able to do dreams and visions if you get any. The odds are you won't because you don't understand the language. If you don't understand the Bible, you won't know the language, so the dream won't mean anything. It's just gobbledygook. But if you understand the Bible, you might get one. But what I'm saying is how to interpret dreams for your everyday life is where I'm leaning into. And I was talking to my son is there's kind of three different types here. You'll have a dream, and then sometimes you'll get a filler where you're connecting two different parts of the dream, and then you'll have another dream. And you kind of have these fillers and these connectors. They're almost like bubbles. They're almost like pathways or something. So you might begin in your house, and then you turn around, and all of a sudden you're standing in a field, and you take 2 steps, and all of a sudden you're at your grandma's house, and she's making cookies. Then you turn around, and you're in the middle of a World War II battle or something. You're having to fight for your life, whatever. Sometimes that filler is nothing more than entertainment. I mean, the dreams are nothing more than entertainment, but a lot of times, and I'm going to lean in here, that those dreams are trying to tell you something, especially if you're having reoccurring dreams. If you're having dreams that are having certain types of themes that are coming up, you probably need to start looking for those themes that's trying to tell you something. Um, this is stuff, it's about self insight. Not everything is about trauma, but human beings, we kind of carry around a lot of trauma. Some of it's very, very deep, and maybe you need to go get counseling, seek out a professional. That would be just fine. Nobody's saying not to do that. I'm not a professional, and I'm not a doctor. So if you listen to some of this, take it with a grain of salt and use it for what you can. But what I'm saying here is that not everything's trauma, but we have different levels of trauma. Sometimes just being constantly rejected by women can become trauma, but other people have heavy sexual abuse. That's very big trauma. Sometimes it's just you don't feel like your mom loved you. Sometimes your mom told you she didn't love you. I mean, you're dealing with a whole different range here when you're dealing with yourself. But what I'm saying is your mind, like your body, is trying to tell you something's wrong and you need to do it. You need to do something about it. I was telling my son that, our bodies are a little bit like 6-year-olds because when we hurt ourselves, it goes, look, 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 ow, 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 ow. And when we comfort it and when we do something about it, it's like, thank you. Our minds are that way. Many times, our minds, especially in dreams when we're sleeping, are saying, look over there. Look, look, look. It's like a 5-year-old in a car, and you're not looking. And until you look, it can't stop. It'll keep pointing to that till you look, until you deal with it. And when you look, when you deal with it, then it goes on to something else. I'm liking these cards to give you an example. Sometimes your mind has something it wants to show you, and you go, okay, I'm going to deal with that. Well, guess what? Here comes another card. Okay, well, I'm going to deal with that. To get off, well, here's another one. So it's going to do this until it either runs out of cards or you're in a place to where you're getting good cards. Now, you're getting the fun cards. You're having cards that are just fun at night. Sometimes your mind just wants to play. Sometimes, again, it's like a 6-year-old. It's like a 6-year-old that I'm just going here and I'm going to be there. Now I'm fighting like a knight. Now I'm flying in an airplane. Now I'm running from zombies and all this kind of stuff. And it's like that. It just wants to have fun. But it also wants to tell you when things are bad and tell you that there's things that need to be dealt with. I'll use myself as an example here. One of my traumas was my upbringing. The house I grew up in was very substandard. I'm not picking on my mom and dad, but they just did not bring us up and did not provide a house that was standard. It was always cold in the winter, hot in the summer, pretty much a shack. And so I had a lot of problems with that house. I had a lot of problems with the fact that I couldn't blame my mom and dad because I was a good Christian boy. We don't blame our moms and our dads. And yet, I blamed the house. And I built trauma because I'm blaming this house for my problems. Well, after a while, that's going to build up, just like these cards. I mean, it's very possible that once I move one card, a whole stack disappears. So that's how that works. So I had to wheel through this, and I would have nightmares about this house, nightmares about going back to it, nightmares about they passed a law and you had to go live in the house that you grew up with, which is a stupid dream. Once you go past that, and once you kind of accept that trauma and work it out, it's very helpful. Then those dreams disappear. They realize other things. Another one I've had is kind of a strange one where I'm always in college, but I'm always late and I can't find my room, or I lost my books, or there's always some kind of thing going on that's outside of my control. I'm running down the halls, I can't find my room, kind of thing. Well, disorganization, out of control. That's something I don't like. So, how can I get my life somewhere in my life I'm feeling out of control? Let's seek that out, get some more control. Sometimes I have to let go of the things that I can't control. You see where I'm leaning in with these examples. Um, so I'm talking about that your mind is like a 6-year-old. It's just running around going, look, 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 look. Many times, what you need to do is give yourself permission. That's also an interesting thing because your mind wants permission to do things. We might think, well, my mind, I'm just going to do what I want to do. Sometimes your mind wants you to give it permission to believe something about yourself. Sometimes we get a lot of negative thoughts in our minds, and it wants permission to say, you're good, you're nice, you're kind. Oh, no, if you were brought up with like as an abusive mom or a verbally abusive dad or maybe even physically abusive, and you just get this self thing going. But your mind wants to say you're good because your mind doesn't know what day it is, doesn't know what time it is, doesn't know the morality of what's going on. It just knows when something's out and it wants you to fix it. Um, for example, I'll lean into a little bit about sexual dreams. Many Christian men will not allow themselves to have sexual dreams. They will cock block themselves in their head. This is not nice. I shouldn't be doing this. Or if it's another woman and they're married, oh, I shouldn't do that. No, your mind doesn't know you're married, doesn't know any of the morality. It's only saying you're worthy of having good sex with. You're worthy to go out and enjoy this like any other man. You're worthy of that. Your mind at that point, I'm talking about the middle part because you've got the frontal lobe up front where we make decisions. But the middle part, which is mostly passions, is saying you're good. You're good. I mean, your body's saying you're good. When you're healthy, your diet and lose weight and stuff, your body is saying good. If you're not, then your body is saying not. And it's always fighting to make it better. But where I'm going with here is give yourself permission. I know I'm leaning into this because one time I had a toothache and I was at work and I couldn't do anything about it. And I went ahead and I went ahead kind of to myself and said, yeah, I'll deal with it when I get ready. Well, the toothache started going away because my body just wanted me to admit there was a problem. So a lot of times our mind wants to do the same thing. I want you to admit that there's a problem. We tend to have a childlike sense of justice, things that need to be balanced. Our mind wants to be balanced. And a lot of times when we talk about biblical sins, that your mind is unbalanced about things. Your mind knows. That's what guilty conscience is that unbalancing. I know this is wrong, but I want to do it anyway. You know, it's irony when I talk about this 5-year-old. This 5-year-old will do what you tell it. If you tell it, I want to watch pornography, it'll go, yay, let's do it. But if your frontal lobe says, we shouldn't do that, let's wait till my wife gets home, the middle part will go, okay, let's do that. I mean, it's always on your side. It's the frontal lobe that needs to be making the best decisions. When the Bible says the renewing of your mind, it's talking about the frontal lobe, your decision maker. The logic center is up here in the frontal lobe, not the passions, they're in the middle. You need to be doing that. Sometimes you're hungry and your body's like, let's go eat, let's go have burgers, let's go do this and that. Your frontal lobe says, we're having chicken tonight at dinner, you can wait. Middle part goes, okay, we can wait. I mean, it's all on your side. Your body's on your side. Your mind's on your side. If you can just get your frontal lobe on your side, then you'll be doing well. And the last one I'll go to is your mind wants you to enjoy life. It wants to get out there, like I said, once you get all the traumas or most of them out of the way, and it's not trying to tell you something, like I said, it wants to play. Just get in there and play. Just like I said, one day you're singing, and the next day you're dancing, the next day you're fighting, the next day you're running, you're skiing down a hill, you're going and fighting bad guys. And there's all kinds of relationship stuff. Sometimes you're just hanging around with old friends. Um, um, One last thing I'll give here is I had a dream the other night, which I thought was really cool. Um, I was in a play and I had this part, and it was kind of a medium part, but I had this certain area where I was talking and I was supposed to be comical, and I laughed very well, and everybody laughed with me. They were with me. I had connected with them. I had touched them in this play, and it felt good. And then we go off, and then there's a choir that's singing, and some of us were supposed to get out and sing. And I get up and I sing a song. And it's just, I'm feeling comfortable about it. I feel like everybody likes me. I feel like the lights were good and everybody stopped. And, it had the people in the background, the choir in the background, and I'm just singing and people are enjoying my singing. And it was just a wonderful dream. And it's a dream that's tied to self affirmation. Do you believe that you're worthy? Do you believe that you can enjoy life? Do you believe in yourself? Sometimes our churches really, like I said, I hate to use the word cock block a lot, but they try to control us. Oh, you're not supposed to be selfish. Oh, pride is a sin. Having proper self esteem in yourself, having proper confidence in yourself, enjoying your life, it doesn't mean you're being Nebuchadnezzar on a throne, just saying how wonderful I am, but to admit that you're worthy, to admit that you can enjoy life. So where I'm going with this is to give you an idea of how you can start interpreting your dreams. So a couple of things I'm going to suggest. Number one, get a phone. I have an extra phone that my son doesn't use. Um, and so keep it by your bed, keep it charged. And when you wake up, while it's still kind of fresh, before you have coffee, talk to yourself, record yourself speaking. Can you imagine if you had a month of those and listen to them one after another, what you would learn about yourself? Just describing your dreams and your feelings about these dreams. It would be very insightful. Journal if you need to. Keep a pen and paper there, journal it out. Only you can decide, like I said, what the cow means. Are you afraid of the cow or was the cow your friend? Only you can decide whether, going to college was a bad dream because it was a bad time or it was a wonderful time. And only you can interpret what you need to do. Some people will go and sit for somebody for hundreds of dollars, and all they're doing is asking you, well, what do you think this means? What do you think this means? What does this mean to you? Well, how important is this to you? How does this make you feel? Now, unless you have very deep, psychological or sexual trauma, which I had a friend who had to go get help in that area, and I'm glad she did. She's so much better for it. But a lot of this stuff you could probably answer on your own. Just start journaling, start seeing, and start making changes and start accepting. Okay, I accept the fact that I was brought up in substandard housing. I even am okay with blaming my folks. We usually don't do that. How dare you blame your family? Don't you know they tried their best? Well, some people don't. It's okay to place blame where it needs to be placed. Yes, they could have done better. They didn't do better. I'm not really judging them well, I am judging them. We're all afraid of being judged, but yet, if you're in the wrong or you didn't do it well, own it. And that's good for me to say, okay, they're gone. They're not on this planet anymore. They've died. But they could have done better. And accepting that form of self acceptance of just the justice of the situation. So start learning by interpreting your dreams correctly. Start channeling them. Don't fight against them. Don't make them bigger than they are. Let them speak to you. Let them tell you honestly what they're trying to tell you. Learn from it. And then pretty soon after that, hopefully, you'll just have a whole bunch of fun dreams that you can enjoy because your body is on your side. Your mind is on your side. All you have to do is get your frontal lobe on your side and start putting things together. And then here comes some fun.